Welcome to Dr. ACR Academy. Today we are going to study about nutrition in animals, which is from CBSE 7-Science and Chapter 2. As we all know, plants prepare the food by a process called photosynthesis, whereas the animal does that. Animals either directly or indirectly depend on plants for their food. Some animals eat only plants, whereas some other animals eat other animals that eat plants, and other animals eat both plants and animals. For example, pig, dog, human being, and crow are some examples which eat both animals and plants. Food is essential for growth, repair, and functioning of the body in all the organisms including humans. Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food, and utilization in the body. The components of the food include carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Components like carbohydrate and proteins are in complex form. They are not utilized by the body as it is. They need to be in simpler form. The digestive system breaks down the complex components into simpler substances so that the body can utilize them. Different modes of taking food is observed in organisms. One of the way is siphoning, which is seen in butterflies and moths. Another way of taking in food is scraping, which is seen in snails. Another way of taking in food is swallowing, which is seen in python. Here you can see python is swallowing a huge pig. Another way of taking in food is capturing and swallowing, which is seen in eagles. Another way of taking in food is sucking, which is seen in hummingbirds, mosquitoes, lice, and bees. Here you can see a mosquito drinking blood of a human. In the method of taking the food is sucking. Here the summary of some of the modes of the nutrients. Here the summary of some of the modes of nutrition.
Like an advancing army, the sea stars move into position, slowly but surely working their way up toward their victims. The mussels cannot run or fight. All they can do is hide within their shells as their killers crawl over their bodies. Sensory tube feet sweep over the tightly packed mass of shells, searching for any gap in the mussel's defenses. Settling on its victim, the sea star hunkers down and begins its attack. The miniature camera, tucked within the mussel's shell, gives us the first look ever at the carnage that unfolds here every day. Once the tube feet have physically breached the mussel's defensive line, the sea star's translucent stomach begins the final assault. The animal actually pushes its stomach inside the mussel's shell, unfolding like a fatal flower. The stomach unleashes a volley of chemical weapons, digestive juices that dissolve the mussel's soft pink flesh. All that's left is a nutrient-rich soup, a broth that's quickly absorbed by the sea star. Having assimilated the mussel, the sea star's stomach pulls away. Moves on, leaving behind an empty shell.
This is how starfish feeds on an organism. In humans, the food passes through a continuous canal, begins at the mouth, from where we take in food, and ends at the anus, where the unused food is defecated. The alimentary canal or the digestive tract divided into various parts, which include the buccal cavity, food pipe or esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, ending with rectum, the anus. The food components gradually get digested as food travels through the various components. The digestive canal are associated with various digestive glands such as salivary glands, the liver, and the pancreas. These secrete digestive juices which involved in digestion. The digestive tract and the associated glands together constitute the digestive system. The mouth or the oral cavity or buccal cavity is the point of entry of the food into the digestive system. Food, liquid or any substance taken into the body through the mouth, and this process is called ingestion. The food consumed is broken down into smaller pieces by the chewing action of the teeth in the mouth. Each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. Teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions.
Line, This one is the first incisor in the maxillary, and this one is the second incisor in the maxillary arch. The incisor is the canine. This one is the pointed tooth. So this is the canine tooth, and these teeth are known as the premolar that erupt in place of the deciduous molars. Two premolars. Now next to the premolar, there are three molar. 1, 2, 3.
Therefore, they are given different names. On conclusion, the different teeth and their number and rows are incisors. There are 4 in number and help to cut and bite food. Canines, there are 2 in number and help to pierce and tear of food. Premolars, they are 4 in number and help in chew and grinding of food. Molars, they are 6 in number and also help in chewing and grinding the food like premolar teeth. Usually, human beings have 2 successive sets of teeth called as primary or milk teeth and permanent teeth. The primary or the milk teeth are the first set of teeth grows during infancy, and they fall off at the age of 6 to 8 years. The permanent teeth are the second set of teeth that replaces the milk teeth and molars throughout life or fall off during old age or due to some dental disease. Tooth decay is the most common tooth problems of childhood, caused by the interaction of bacteria and sugary foods on tooth enamel. Normally, useful bacteria present in our mouth, but when we do not clean our teeth properly, many harmful bacteria also begin to grow. These bacteria break down the sugars present from the leftover food and release acids. These released acids gradually damage the teeth, which is helped as tooth decay. If tooth decay is not treated in time, it causes several toothaches and extreme cases results in tooth loss. Chocolate, sweets, soft drinks and other sugary products are the major culprits of tooth decay. To avoid tooth decay, we should clean the teeth with a brush or a dam at least twice a day and rinse our mouth after every meal. Additionally, a dental floss, which is a special strong thread which is moved between two teeth to take out the trapped food particles, can be used to remove the trapped food particles. In addition to the teeth, the mouth has the salivary glands which secrete saliva. Saliva is involved in digestion of carbohydrates. To understand the role of saliva in digestion, let's do one experiment. Take a test tube A and B. Chew 1 tablespoon of boiled rice. Add a tablespoon of boiled rice to test tube A. Add chewed and boiled rice to test tube B. Add 4 ml of water in both of test tubes and add 3 drops of iodine solution to both of the test tubes. Let's see the results. In test tube A, it is dark blue, and in test tube B, it is colorless. Iodine solution turns starch into blue in test tube A, while in the test tube B, the starch is broken down by saliva into sugar, so it remains colorless. The another critical organ present in the mouth is the fleshy muscular tongue, which is free at the front and attached to the floor of the buccal cavity at the end. Tongue mixes saliva with food during chewing and helps in swallowing food. Additionally, tongue is useful to talk and taste also. Tongue has taste buds that detect different tastes of food. The esophagus or the food pipe is a tubular organ that connects the mouth to the stomach and runs along the neck and chest. The chewed and softened food passes through the esophagus after being swallowed. The smooth muscular muscles of esophagus undergo a series of wave-like movements that push the food towards the stomach. In some cases, the stomach takes too long to empty the food, maybe due to undigestible food or type of food or any other reason. The content in the stomach is then pushed back. This returns the content is expelled out of the mouth in the form of vomiting. From the esophagus, food enters into the widest part of the alimentary canal called the stomach, which is a thick walled bag with J-shaped structure. Large part of digestion occurs in the stomach. After digestion, the stomach opens into the small intestine. The inner lining of stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices. The mucus protects the lining of the stomach. The acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acid and helps the digestion juices to act. The digestive juices break down proteins into simpler substances. The small intestine is a 7.5 meter long tube-like organ where the digestion of protein, fats, and carbohydrate is complete. It receives secretion from its walls, the liver, and the pancreas. The liver is the largest gland in the body, which is reddish brown color, situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. Liver secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called the gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. The pancreas is a large cream-colored gland located just below stomach. The pancreatic juice released into the small intestine acts on complex carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and change them into simpler forms. The partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine. The intestinal juices are released in the lower part of the small intestine and components the digest of all components of the food. The carbohydrates get broken down into simpler sugar as glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. After completely digestion, The digested food passes into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine, and this process is called absorption. The inner walls of the small intestine have finger-like outgrowths called villi. The villi increases the surface area for absorption of the digested food. Each villi has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of the villi absorbs the digestive food materials. The absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body, where they are used to build complex substances such as proteins required by the body, and this process is called assimilation. In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. The food that remains undigested and absorbed enters into the large intestine. The human large intestine is much smaller in length compared to the small intestine, but larger in diameter. It is about 1.5 meters in length. The main role of large intestine is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. The remaining waste passes through the rectum and remains as semi-solid fecus. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time, and this process is called egestion. Now let's move to the digestion in grass-eating animals. Animals like cows, buffaloes and other grass-eating animals quickly swallow the grass and store it in a part of the stomach called rumen. Here, the food is partially digested as cud. In later times, the animal brings back the cud to the mouth in small lumps and chews it. This process is called rumination, and these animals are called ruminants. The grass is rich in cellulose, a type of carbohydrate. In ruminants like cattle, deer, etc., bacteria present in rumen helps in digestion of cellulose. Many animals, including humans, cannot digest cellulose. In non-ruminant herbivores like horse, cat, rabbit, etc., have a large sac-like structure called cecum. The cellulose of the food is digested by the action of certain bacteria which are not present in humans. Coming to the digestion of small organisms which do not have a mouth and a digestive system, let us start with amoeba. Amoeba is a microscopic single-celled organism found in pond water. Amoeba is a cell membrane surrounding the dense nucleus and small bubble-like vacuoles in its cytoplasm. Amoeba constantly changes shape and position, and it pushes out one or more finger-like projections called sorophodia or false feet for movement and capture of food. Amoeba feeds on small microscopic organism. When it senses food, it pushes down pseudophobia around the food particle and engulfs it. The food becomes trapped in a food vacuole. The digestive juices are secreted into the food vacuole. They act on the food and break it down into simpler substances. Gradually, the digested food is absorbed. The absorbed substances are used for growth, maintenance and multiplication. The undigested residue of the food is expelled outside the vacuole. The basic process of digestion of food and release of energy is the same in all animals.